It sounded like you knew from a very early age what you wanted to be doing for a living. And in fact, a childhood friend of yours told the Times that you used to have sleepovers where you'd stay up and watch Apocalypse Now.
Yeah.
How old were you at the time?
I was 4. Yeah, that's my buddy Brian Klugman, right? Oh no. Who we used to. Yeah, my father was a huge cinephile, and I lived across the street from a movie theater, and so Raging Bull was one of the first movies, and so I started to get exposed to all these films, like Apocalypse Now and Deer Hunter, and he and I would talk about it all the time, and we had this great idea. We thought it was a great idea to do a night of Vietnam, and it started out. We're going to open it up with Apocalypse Now, and then just ease right into the Deer Hunter. And then finish it up with Hearts of Darkness, which was the documentary that Coppola's wife made of Apocalypse Now. I think there were like 8 people from that we had signed. We had sheets around the high school. We thought it was going to be like a mob scene at my house. It was like 10 people came, and most of them because they thought maybe they heard that maybe we were going to drink some wine or something, like break into the liquor cabinet. And I remember we were like halfway through, we were like in the wedding scene of the Deer Hunter, like not even, a third into the night. Everybody was asleep, except for me and Brian. And we're sitting there like, Kilgore.
Right.
It was so funny.
How did Alias come up? Where did that?
Alias was, one of those, thank you. Yeah, it was a great show.
Yeah.
Met some lifelong friends in that show, boy, wow. Yeah. That was just one of those 800 auditions a week I went on, and it was for a show called Alias. And they said the big thing was when, the creator is coming to town, and whispers would go around the hall because you'd be waiting along the hall like American Idol style to go in on these things. And I remember they're like, I think J.J. Abrams is in the room. And I was like, J.J. who? They're like, Felicity. I was like, I don't know what Felicity is. He wrote Regarding Henry when he was 18. Oh, really? Oh, wow, I like that movie. So then I walk in, and he was there, and I just sort of, I don't know, we like clicked. And I remember he was like, grab the pencil. And we were just doing Will. He wasn't Will Tippin at the time. His name was Clay, was the character's name. And for some reason, I had just done this thing on the show called The Street where I played Clay, but he was like a cokehead. And I was like, and I remember even saying to him, I don't know why I had the balls to say it, I was like, hey man, maybe he's not Clay. oh, really? Is that what he's not? I wrote the pilot. Oh, you're gonna tell me that he's not Clay? Okay, thanks, guy. But he was very nice. And then they flew me to Los Angeles, and I tested for it, and then I got it, so I stayed out there. But I remember when I got it, they were like, they were testing for that character and the Vaughn character at the same day. So we were all around. And I remember there was this guy, and I thought, this is the coolest guy I've ever met. He was like, he just got back from a snowboarding trip. He had like long hair, handsome as shit, and he was French. And his name was Michael Vartan. Yeah. And I was like, wow. And I remember we were outside smoking a cigarette, and we both smoked back then. And he said, he's like, I gotta tell you, man. He's like, we both can't get it. We look like brothers. I thought, do we? Do we really? We do, don't we? I thought so too, Michael. I thought the same thing. And then we both wound up getting it. And they're like, look, you guys look too much alike. So I was like, oh, okay, I can wait. Okay, how do you want to do it? They're like, so Michael, you stay exactly the way you look. And then Bradley, we're going to bleach your hair blonde, curl it up, and you're going to wear glasses.
I actually do want to talk about Wedding Crashers a little bit. So
Vince Vaughn in that movie, yeah. Oh my God. And Owen, Jesus.
Yeah. I mean, is it in any way a mixed blessing when you get a role like that, in the sense that, when you go opposite those guys, you're not the one going home with Rachel McAdams at the end of that film?
Again, no, right.
Well, you're going to be the foil to them.
Oh, you mean, yeah, but yeah. I was honored. I couldn't believe it. You gotta understand, I was just playing the guy who was saying, hey, how was your trip? Flipping pancakes. thinking that she's a banker.
Right.
to go, the nicest guy in the world, Will Tippin, to all of a sudden playing this sociopathic Sack Lodge. I mean, it was, I still remember that audition. I was playing Johnny Cash's Cocaine Blues, I think is the song, and I was driving there, and I read the script, and I thought, this character's amazing, but I'll never get it, because all the auditions I was going on, people were saying, Bradley's such a nice guy. He's really sweet. God, he was so sweet on that show. So sweet on that show. He's not really right for this. There's no edge. And that was what it always was. And so when I got there to play this guy, and David Dobkin, maybe he never saw Alias, I don't know. But I don't know, something just clicked. And he was laughing so hard. I remember he was like on the floor laughing. And he told me in the room, he was like, you got it, man. You got the role. Wow. And I thought, because sometimes people, they get excited and you get home and you don't have it. But he did, man. He really did. I owe a lot to David Dobkin.
Did you get to talk Deer Hunter with Walken at all, or were there opportunities for those kinds of interactions?
I still don't know what we were saying to each other. It's like some sort of algorithmic puzzle. I don't even know what that means. But yeah, no. Walken was like, I remember we were like sitting in that boat actually. The weather was one day, there was something with the weather, and we had to sit. There was lighting or something, and we were sitting there. And Walken always wore these like black pants and suspenders and a wife beater and these shoes that he always wore. And he was just sitting there, and he was like, Bradley, I gotta tell you, Bradley, you gotta live in a big house in Malibu. I'm gonna visit you, Bradley. I was like, okay. You said a big house, but he was great. I mean, yeah, he was great. And another thing was wonderful about him. He came into my trailer, knocked on my trailer, and wanted to go there. The church scene at the end when we have that sort of face-off. Right. It's like, Zach, I always liked you. And he was like, Bradley, let's talk about how we can do the scene and talk about it. And I was like, oh, okay. And we were like, we worked on the scene and then pitched it to David in the room. It was really, it was wonderful.
You just became, I think you're the first alumnus of the Actors Studio to then be featured on the show. Is that? Yeah. What was that experience like for you though, to be on the other side and to be the one, probed like that?
Probed like that? That's an interesting way to look at it.
Well, Lipton does his research, right? I mean, those things are
it sounds like I'm an alien or something.
They're expensive, right?
Because we all probe aliens, right? That makes no sense what I just said. What was the question?
Oh, so what was the experience like for you?
Well, I unfortunately cried a lot, and it was very embarrassing. And I'm not a good crier. In that I'm loud, and it's not like these things that I could keep talking.
Right.
So I had to stop a lot. But it was wonderful. I mean, I remember if this was the stage, I was back there behind the door, and and I heard him, Lipton, say, Bradley Cooper, and knowing that I had so many of my friends in the audience that I went to school with, and my parents, and my father was sick at the time, and I just thought, oh no! I knew at that moment that, I don't know if I'm going to be able to keep it together. And then the whole time, it just turned into this very moving experience. Yeah, much like this. But it really was something. Yeah, I felt very. It was not lost on me what was occurring.